Okay, last segment we're going to talk about analyzing and fixing. Essentially, we're going to have Final Cut Pro detect people and composition within clips. And we're going to talk a little bit about understanding and assigning roles. We won't mess too much with that because I think we'll get into that a little bit more later. Let's get into this Final Cut project. I'm going to go back to my Lee Summit North project and I'm going to open that up. And well, I'm going to go ahead and give Final Cut Pro a chance to do some analysis on all of these clips. So I'm going to go ahead and select all. I'll make sure I'm in the browser. That's my area of focus. And I've selected, it's going to select all of the edits that I've already created, and that's okay. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to choose Analyze and Fix. And from here, we're going to go with Find People. I'm going to ask it to consolidate and create smart collections. Under People, essentially Final Cut Pro is going to decide if there's one person in the shot, if there's two people, or if there's a group of people. It's also going to determine the framing of the shot. So it's going to say, is this a close-up, is this a medium, or is it a wide shot? I'm going to go ahead and click OK. When we do that, you're going to want to pay attention to the background tasks. When I click on this, it brings open the background task window. In the background task window, you get this transcoding and analysis. It's giving us the progress of this as it's working its way through. Notice I'm not importing media. I'm not rendering anything. The rendering phase would be if I put a title on top of something, then it would need to render that. So essentially, I need to sit back and I need to let it do all of this transcoding and analysis. So that's what I'll do now. Okay, while that is still continuing to process the background rendering, I don't have the patience to really get into that and wait for that to finish all the way. But results are coming in this people folder. You can start to see clips that are group shots, medium shots, wide shots, two people. These are listed as one-person shots. So that just means that at one point Final Cut Pro thought, oh, there's one person. So it identifies one person in a shot. Some of them are good, some of them not as good, you know. So is this the one person that Final Cut saw? You know, that's okay. So there are the options for Final Cut Pro doing that analyze and fix. So that could be useful. We want to know it's there. We want to understand how to use it. I'm going to switch over to the list view and I'm going to go over to roles. When it comes to roles, we are going to get video clips coming in as video, and then audio clips are going to come in with the dialogue role. So I could go through and I could decide that, oh, these are not actually dialogue, these are effects, or these are just natural sound, that sort of thing. This is really going to help us when we get into a phase where we want to take our project from Final Cut into Logic, maybe do some sound design, maybe some mixing, and then this way we can get them to play back and forth a little bit nicer, keep things organized. I'm about where you are in terms of roles because I haven't used them all that much. They're fairly new, not super new, but they're new-ish. I could also go into the Modify menu and choose Edit Roles. And then lastly, the way I can find roles is under the Inspector on that Info tab. There's your Video tab, Audio, there's the Info Inspector. And then here you see you can get down into editing the roles. Each main role has a sub-role. They have shortcuts if we wanted to add them into there. So for those of us that are just kind of on the edge of kind of getting onto Final Cut Pro, you don't need to dig into this. But if you're one of those people that are like, well, how can I take my skills to the next level? Getting into roles could be the thing that you want. So talk about natural sound. So basically just sound of the place that we're at. So now I've got a new role. I could go back into here. I could add that natural sound role, and then that's got a different color. And so when I add that to the project, it's going to look a little different. It's going to help me keep things organized. I could also flip open this timeline index down here, and that's going to show me the roles right here in the timeline. And then I can isolate different roles as we get into them. And one called Showing Audio Lanes looks really cool when we have these big elaborate projects. So if you're looking to take your Final Cut skills up a notch, you know, spend a second organizing, get into the details of roles, check out Analyze and Fix when you think it might be useful, start to search, sort, filter as your projects get more complex. Keywords we're going to be using even on the simplest project. Notes you can use on interview projects. Ratings we're going to be using all the time. So now we've got the basics of organizing footage. That's Final Cut Pro Lesson 3, and you're ready to go over to Schoology and take that quiz.